When somebody comes to my lesson team and they've had the putting yips, it's a pretty serious thing because it can literally ruin the fun of the game. So today I'm going to share with you 3 different things that you can do on the golf course or in your practice to get away from or overcome the putting yips. And then I'm also going to give you one drastic grip change that literally saved the career of one of the all-time great players in the game. So here we go, let's dive right into it. So first of all, the putting yips typically happens on shorter putts. So I've got a putt here, I don't know what it is, maybe 5-6 feet, something like that. And putting yips typically happen because the mind is overactive, which is creating a twitch, a sudden jab, an increase in tension, something like that, that causes the stroke to really get off. So it looks something like this. The golfer might make a really good practice motion, all right, look pretty calm and confident, and then the minute that they get ready to hit the putt, it ends up being like really quick and jerky. And yes, I did make that, Nick, I'm sorry. All right, I promise I'll make the ones when we change on the technique. Nick is laughing at me behind there. Okay, but you saw the stroke, it was really jabby and really quick. Now, the first thing that I would do, the first level that I would go to, if a golfer came to my lesson team and they were struggling with that, is we would just simply hit some putts while looking at the hole. So one of the reasons people tend to get really quick or jerky, yip, with their putter is because they're very, very ball focused. They're focused on the stroke and the mechanics. So by simply just making practice strokes while looking at the hole, all right, what instinctively happens is the subconscious mind moves away from the mechanics of the stroke and moves towards the target. Very similar to like throwing a ball, shooting a basket. We're typically looking at the target in most sports. Golf is a little different because we're looking more down at the ball. So you can literally make putts while looking at the cup. Okay, now I had a couple of my college students do that and actually worked really well. So that's tip number 1. All right, tip number 2 is, I like to call it more of a rhythm. Okay, more rhythm stroke. All right, so this is probably my favorite one. It's the one that I use the most often if I was really nervous or struggling with my putting. It's what we call the 1, 2, and 3. And if you've watched any of our stuff, you might have seen this one before. And hey, do me a favor, ring the bell, and also tell us where you're from and what are the greens like where you play. We're here at Keene Park. Greens are beautiful shape here at Keene Park today. But where are you playing from? What are the greens like in your particular area? Because that can have a big impact on how you putt. So here we go. We've got 4 different sections. We've got 1, meaning I'm looking at the hole. We've got number 2, I'm going to look at the ball. And is my backswing. And then 3 is impact. So let me say that again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's 4 different segments. Let me go ahead and just demonstrate it without the golf ball. So I'm occupying my mind by talking to myself. 1, 2, and 3. All right, let me do it one more time, then we're gonna hit a putt. 1, 2, and 3. All right, everybody got that? So here we go. I'm set in there. Now I'm just gonna replicate that. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that was the best putt I hit today. That's personally my favorite one, but it doesn't mean that's the one that you gotta do. All right, now, let's talk about another one. This one is a little bit more drastic. I actually saw a tour pro did this, it was a long time ago, 20, 30 years ago. And it's simply just to hit putts with your right hand only, okay? So you're set in there, or your trail hand. I call it my right hand because that is my trail hand, but just make putts with the right hand only, something like this. So I'm just making some practice motions with my trail hand, my right hand only, and I'm just gonna go ahead and roll it. This, as a matter of fact, is one of the drills that I use with all of my students. It's in our book, The Bad Lie. So that would be tip number 3. Now, why does that work? Well, let me ask you this. When you're gonna throw a football, a baseball, a softball, any form of ball, you just do it with your trail hand, right? Or your dominant hand, right? You do it with that. So the same way when we're putting, when I just get athletic and instinctive, naturally my brain is occupied, I hit better motion. So those are the first 3 things. Number 1, I can look at the hole. Number 2, I can rhythm count. Number 3, I can putt with my trail hand only. Now, let me share with you one more. And this, if everything else fails, this is another one that you can do. And this saved the career. And if you know the golfer, put it in the comments. He's from Germany, still plays some great golf, won a couple Masters. And he really was the first person who brought this to kind of mainstream. And that was the left hand low or the lead hand low. It's relatively common now in golf. You'll see a lot of golfers use it, but he was the first one. I remember at the Masters, okay, where he broke out and he had his lead hand a little bit lower. Matter of fact, I think Tom Kite did it also when he won the US Open. Correct me if I'm wrong, but put it in the comments. Who was the golfer from Germany who won a couple Masters and putted with the left hand, the lead hand, a little bit lower? Now, why does that work? Well, it works because typically when people get quick or jerky with the yips, their trail hand, their dominant hand gets kind of fidgety, right? So by taking the lead hand, all right, and moving it down, it almost kind of stabilizes and you're gonna have more sense of pulling the motion. So let me go ahead and hit a putt. So the first thing I'm gonna do with my student is I'm gonna have them grip it with their lead hand only, all right, give it a little bit of forward shaft lean, and just have them make some motions, just feeling like they're pulling the putter through. Everybody see how I'm doing that? And you'll notice how I just started looking at the hole, like instinctively, because that's where I want my mind to be. I want my mind to be here, not right here, okay? So I've got the feel. I got my lead hand a little bit lower. I'm gonna feel like I'm pulling it through. Boom, right in the corner pocket on the right side. The putting yips, whew, it's a dark, dark place. These 3 tips, this one little grip change can hopefully shed some light on the putting yips and bring some joy back to your golf game.